offered in the Vedas as fruity activities, karma kanda. 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10, do not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank you everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move to our next section, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your beautiful association every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call and giving your association every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your beautiful association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all assembled devotees. Yashamari from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashumati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your beautiful association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please carry on. Please carry on, Mataji. Please, I will do it later.
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharva from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharva Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaja, all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devi Dasi from Pratar. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radha Mataji. This is Sukakat Krishnadas calling from Chennai. All goes to Prabhupada, all goes to all the assembled devotees, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for allowing me to join.
Hare Krishna, Shukadara Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call and giving your beautiful association every day. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. This is Kamari Dasi from Baltimore. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother Kamadike Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. Jai Radha Madhav ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. This is Charu Padmadevi from ISKCON, Toronto. Thank you very much. All glories to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devi Dasi from Rana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Radha Mata Ji, Dandot Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All grace to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving beautiful association every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. Accept my all glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to assembled devotees. This is Pooja Arora from Haridwar.
Hare Krishna, Pooja Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All grace to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, Prabhuji joined. Could you please start the recording, Mataji? Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are fortunate to have His Grace Pran Govind Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto, 1st chapter, text 27 onwards. First, I would like to hand a call to Shri Shyam Prabhuji for a brief introduction of Prabhuji.
Mataji, today Raj Prabhu is me.
Krishna Raj Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call and giving your association. I would like to hand our call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. His Grace Reshwar Prabhu was busy today because of the work commitment, so I jumped in. Hare Krishna. There is a brief introduction for Prabhuji, dear devotees. His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu met Srila Prabhupada for the first time during a preaching program in the year 1971 and decided to become devotee. Prabhu was initiated by His Holiness Bhavananda Maharaj in 1979. From 81 to 89, Prabhu served in various capacities, including guest house manager and Prasadam accommodation facilitator, general manager, and life membership director at Mayapur Dham. In 1989, Prabhuji traveled with His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to Europe. Later, when Prabhu moved to America, His Holiness Badri Narayan Maharaj and His Holiness Mukunda Goswami Maharaj engaged Prabhu in cultivating congregation services in San Diego, California. Prabhu took Vanaprastha in 2012. For many years, he has been serving the devotees in Alachua Temple and travels across America preaching the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a brief introduction for Prabhuji. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Bol, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Nice introduction. Hare Krishna, Pran Govind Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call, Prabhuji. I would like to hand over call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Mother?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Raj Prabhu, thank you for such a fired up presence. He's so enthusiastic always. I want to be maybe under his guidance so I can be enthusiastic all the time. Such a nice devotee.
It's completely opposite, Prabhu, what you said. I want to be under you and I want to be like you. Thank you, Prabhu. Please bless me.
Prabhu, please become better than me. Don't be like me.
No way, Prabhu.
I'm just insignificant. Thank you.
I want to follow you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Is that okay, Mother? If we sing that song, I send it to Mother.
Please, Prabhuji.
Okay.
This is Pran Govind Prabhu. We are sharing that to you. Hare Krishna.
This song is very much related to this whole chapter. And because it deals with our ability, death, how much free will we have, and how much Krishna controls and how much Maya controls, so we can have some idea. I'm not a singer, so please forgive me if I sound like a crow. That's who I am, but I'm trying my best to make it into a singing format. This is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Very nice. Tumi tomari bejare ke tare rakhite pare ichha basa tribhuvana ichha basa tribhuvana Brahma adi devagana Tabadas aganana kare taba ajnana palana kare taba ajnana palana taba icha mate jata Rahagana amiratam Shubha Shubha Falakare Dana Shubha Shubha Falakare Dana Roga Soka Mriti Bhai Taba Icha Mate Hai Roga Sukha Mriti Bhai Taba Icha Mate Hai Taba Aga Sada Bolo Bana Sabayaga Sada Balavana Taba Bhaye Vayu Vayu Chandra Surja Samuday Taba Bhaye Vayu Bhaye Chandra Surja Samuday Shasha Niyamita Karja Kare Shasha Niyamita Karja Kare Tumita Parameshara Para Brahma Paratpara Tumita Parameshara Para Brahma Paratpara Tava Vasa Bhakata Tare Tava Vasa Bhagata Antare Sada Suddha Siddhakam Bhakata Vatsalanam Sada Suddha Siddhakam Bhakata Vatsalanam Bhakata Janera Nita Sami Bhakata Janera Nita Swami Tumi to rakhibe jare ke tare marite pare Tumi to rakhibe jare ke tare marite pare Sakala vidhira vidhi Tumi Sakala vidhira vidhi Tumi Tumara charane nath করিয়াছে প্রণিপাত তোমার চরণে নাথ করিয়াছে প্রণিপাত ভকতি বিনোদ তব দাস ভকতি বিনোদ তব দাস বিপদ হইতে স্বামী অবশ্য তাহারে তুমি বিপদ হইতে স্বামী অবসতা হরে তুমি রক্ষিবে তাহার এই বিশ্বাস রক্ষিবে তাহার এই বিশ্বাস হরে কৃষ্ণ Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripurajagacharya Astutara Shatasi Srimad Srila Bhai Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripurajagacharya Ashtutara Shatasi Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Mukund Radha Kundalini Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Srotakari Bhakta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Prabhus and mothers. I'm very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful to Bhakti Japa Sangha group, the whole team, the organizer, listener, speaker, everybody. Such a wonderful, I was just thinking, I wish, maybe I should not judge, but I hope all of us should really appreciate and inspire each other, because this is such a rare opportunity to hear Bhagavatam every day. It's like a beyond imagination. But sometimes when something is very easy, I had a problem. I don't appreciate enough, because we think, oh, it's just there in the temple. Okay, deity is there, chanting is there, but actually it's very rare, extremely rare. So thank you. So I'm begging all of you to please pray for me and bless me so I can say some nice words that Krishna will remind, which will be aligned with the Guru Parampara, and eventually it will purify and make some transformation in our consciousness. Because these 3 chapters of 6th canto, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, I call escaping from hell or escaping from material world. So with that note, I would ask Mother Radha, are you there? I don't see you.
Yes,
If we can read the translation, because this song, I would just request you, if you are capable, memorize some line. These are like a siddhanta, very conclusive siddhanta in a Bengali song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur put. It's so wonderful. Please try, share. I mean, you can try it. Some 5 devotees require 5 lines.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes.
1. Who can protect that person whom you wish to sail? The 3 worlds are obedient to your will. The God's headed by Brahma, are your countless servants and stand ready to execute your command.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. By your will, the planets exercise their auspicious or inauspicious influences. Illness, grief, death, and fear occur by your will. Your command is all powerful.
3. In fear of the wind blows and the sun, moon, and all other perform their allotted duties, and you are the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Spruti, Supreme above all. Your residency in the heart of your loving devotee.
You are
4.
eternally pure, all your desires are fulfilled. Your name is Bhaktavatsala, for you are very affectionate to the Vaishnavas. You are the eternal Lord of your loving devotees, who can slay that person whom you wish to protect. You are the law of all laws. Hare Krishna.
O Lord, your eternal servant Bhaktivinoda has bowed down at your lotus feet. O Master, he cherishes the faith that you will surely protect him from all dangers.
Very nice. Thank you. These are so profound. It will be nice if we can memorize and just repeat ourselves. It will make us very strong devotee. So with that note,
Get the copy of this. Can we just give a copy so that we can all take a printout and read this one?
I send it to Mother Shama Gauri. She's very loving
Prabhuji will
mother.
share the link, Prabhuji.
You will
It's
share.
in
Thank
KK
you,
Sam.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just to let you know, Mother Shama Gauri, in case some of you may not know, she's one of the most compassionate lady. She tolerates a lot of rascals like me, and she accommodates her way to serve. So I appreciate and thank you, Mother Shama Gauri, always. So today we are serving 6th canto, titled The History of the Life of Ajami. And we are on the 1st chapter, text, verse 27. Am I right, Mother? Yeah. So please fold your hand and recite 3 times to the Supreme Lord Vasudev, a form of Krishna who is a predominating deity of consciousness. And I'm sure you meditate every day. Your connection with the material world and spiritual world, whether it's a trouble or happiness, misery, it's all due to our connection, contact. How we contact? Through the consciousness. So he's the Lord Vasudev, Krishna, but in a particular form. So please let us join together and pray. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam tato jayam mudiraye nasta prayesu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistaki. So today's verse is I would request two more devotees to recite the verse beside me. So I'll just recite fast and then two more devotees. You can prepare whoever is willing to share. I'm going to read the first word to word meaning synonyms because so then when we recite, this is a prayers that we will be familiar what we are reciting. Shaha, that ajami, evam, das, Vartamanaha, living, Jnana, foolish, Mrittu kale, when the time of death, Upastite, arrived, Matim, Chakara, concentrated his mind, Tanaye, on his son, Bale, the child, Narayana, Ahavaye, like Ahovan, Ahavai, whose name was Narayan. Saevam vartamanagnya mrittu kala upastite matim chakara tanaye bale narayana havaye. Two more devotees, please recite.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, may I?
Yes, you don't have to ask, just go on, Mata. Yes.
स एवं वर्तमानाग्नो मृत्युकाला उपस्थिते मतिं चकार तनये बाले नारायणान्वये. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
स एवं वर्तमानोऽन्यो मृत्युकाल उपस्थिते मतिं चकार तनये बाले नारायणावये.
स एवं वर्तमानोऽन्यो मृत्युकाल उपस्थिते मतिं चकार तनये बाले नारायणाभवे.
Very nice. Thank you. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. When the time of death arrived for the foolish Ajamil, he began thinking exclusively of his son Narayana. Purport. In the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.6, Sukadev Goswami says, Etavan Sankhya Yogadbham Sadharma Parinishtitaya Janma Labha Parapungsham Ante Narayana Smritihi. The highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit. In one word, in Sanskrit, we call Sankhya Yoga. Then Prabhupada writes, comma, by acquiring of mystic powers. That's a yoga practice, yoga siddhi. Or by perfect discharge of one's occupational duty. Varnashram dharma, you can say, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. So whether somebody is a karmi or jnani or a yogi or sankhya yogi or varnashrami, perfect follower, he should remember Krishna at the end of life. So in other words, the whole life is a preparation. Okay, next Prabhupada says, somehow or other, Ajamil consciously or unconsciously chanted the name of Narayan at the time of death. Ante Narayana Smritihi. And therefore, he became all perfect, simply by concentrating his mind on the name of Narayana, 4-syllable. It may also be concluded that Ajamil, who was the son of a Brahmana, was accustomed to worshipping Narayana in his youth, because in every Brahmana's house there is worship of Narayan Shila. This system is still present in India. In a rigid Brahmana's house, there is a Narayan Sheva, worship of Narayana. Therefore, although the contaminated Ajamil was calling for his son by concentrating his mind on the holy name of Narayana, he remembered the Narayana he had very faithfully worshipped in his youth. Prabhupada is very merciful. Thank you, Prabhupada. In this regard, Srila Sridhar Swami expressed his verdict as follows. Etaccha tad upalanandi Sri Narayana namocharana mahatmayana tad bhakti reva bhut iti siddhantopaga gite git vienapi drastadbham. According to the Bhakti Siddhanta, according to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it is to be analyzed that because Ajamil constantly chanted his son's name, Narayana, he was elevated to the platform of bhakti, although he did not know it. Similarly, Srila Biraraghava Acharya gives this opinion. Evam vartamanaha sadijaha mrityu kale upasthite satyajna narayanakhe putra eva matim chakara matim ashaktam akarod iti arthaha. Although at the time of death he was chanting the name of his son, he nevertheless concentrated his mind upon the holy name of Narayana. Srila Vijayadaja Tirtha gives a similar opinion. Mrityu kale deha viyoga lakshana kale mrityu sarva dosa papa harisha hare anugrahat kale datta gena lakshane upasthite ridi prakashite tanaye purna gyane bale panchavarsha kalpe pradesha matre narayanay avaye murti vishesha matim smarana smarantham chittam chakara bhakta smarad iti arthaha. Very nice. Prabhupada didn't give big translation on it, but if you break down when you have time, word to word, that's a very wonderful. So see what we can do. Directly or indirectly, Ajamil actually remembered Narayan at the time of death. Ante Narayana Smiti. Very nice. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Genanjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shabhadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanscha
Hare Krishna Karma Sindhu
Om Vishnu Padaya Na Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatadeshatarine Vancha Kalpataruvesha Kripa Sindhubhayevacham Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Prabhus and mothers. So today, this morning, I thought there are many ways to draw many deeper meaning from this purport and the sloka. So I choose just one or two, and I need help from all of you to understand myself. If you can take your time and read the slides also. First of all, I have a question. We just read that Ajamil, how did Prabhupada say? Let's see. When the time of death arrived to the foolish Ajamil, he began thinking exclusively of his son Narayan. Who is Ajamil? Is he the body or his subtle body or physical body? And who is dying? We are talking about death. Who is dying and who is Ajamil? Now you can...
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prahladananda Prabhu. Nice to see you. Mother Janaki, nice to see you.
Prabhuji. May I answer your question? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Actually, nobody is dying at that moment. Because as we understand, the body is always dead, and it is the conditioned soul which is activating it. So when that time came, actually the conditioned soul is never going to die. It's just going to change the cloth, the body. And the body is always dead. So there was no question of death, but just transition from one cloth to the other. And through the agency of subtle mind, subtle body.
Very good.
That's what I thought.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. But what strikes that moment actually decide our next destination. So therefore it is important. Yes, you are right, Prabhu. Soul doesn't die, soul doesn't. But the death is so crucial that it produces our next destination, whether heaven or hell or spiritual world. So it is important. Hare Krishna society is the only society talks about death. Not just death, actually what is dying. No other religion organization talks about. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke about death. So first question is, who is dying? Well, I want to share with you. I want someone to, each person to read. Is this visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, can you please read this one, please?
3 levels of consciousness. Find out where you are.
So you can detect while we go through this. See at this moment where you are. Actually, you have a choice. This is the best gift of Krishna. More than any other, this is the only most precious gift Krishna gave us, is the free will choice we have. Someone, please.
Okay, may I? Nobody
Yes,
else?
please, go ahead.
From spiritual strata to illusory selfish motives. The first one is eternal spiritual identity, which is Krishna Das. Then misuse of free will, apathy to God's service leads to identify. Sorry, I think I'll read the red boxes first. Eternal spiritual identity is Krishna Das. Identification with the mind is false ego. Body as self, temporary and misery. So the way it moves is misuse of free will is apathy to God's service. And then from the false ego to misery is desire to enjoy material nature. That is, false ego's desire to enjoy material nature leads to misery. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Someone please help. This is your birthday when you came to the material world. Guess what you got? Please help us to remember what we got.
Deha Atma Buddhi with new identity and 5 layers of ignorance. 1, Tamishra, forgetfulness of the constitutional position due to anger or envy. Andha Tamishra, considering death to be the ultimate end. 3, Tamas, condition of not knowing anything about the spirit soul. 4, Moha, illusion of the bodily concept of life. 5, Mahamoha, being mad after material enjoyment. Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20, verse 18.
Thank you, Mother. Next.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mother.
Conditional body, visual physical body. A bodily changes. We feed the body, we dress the body, we identify the body as the self. It's made of 5 gross elements. Conditional souls ignores the causes body's transmigration.
Very good. It's true. I hope you all did that this morning or wherever you are, probably afternoon. Next, please.
Cognitional or transfigurational body. It is the mechanism that interfaces between the conscious being and the gross material body, made of 16 elements, determines future gross body manifestation. Life is like a movie, be cognitional. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. One more, the best part.
Constitutional. Soul is the spiritual being, the essence of who I am. Original source of consciousness which radiates through the subtle material body to gross material body. Thinking, willing, feeling. Krishna Das, not Maya Das.
One more.
keynote. Soul is the root of consciousness, where mind is the root of consciousness.
No, it's not the root, it's the route. Consciousness, how it passes through. Okay, sorry. Stop it there. Good. So at this moment, all of us has a three existence. You can be in physical level, you can be in a subtle level, or you can be in soul level. Who determines? Not Krishna, neither Maya or anyone else. It is each of us has that choice. Whether you are aware or not, that is different. It's up to you. But you can choose, actually, you want to be in the soul level, or you want to be in mental level, or you want to be in physical level. Whether you have an emotion or desire, whatever you have every moment, whether you want or not, it's coming through, passing through you. And you have a choice to decide whether you want to go with that feeling or the desire, or you want to stop it. As long as you know where the desire or emotion going to take me. If you can determine that, if you can see that before it even contemplating, you can actually make your life pure devotee or towards hell or suffering world. That's each of us we choose. Now I'm going to show you another slide about dying. This morning I made it. It's not a very attractive, but I tried my best, so please bear with me. I always like run this the last minute. So I asked that question, who is Ajamil or who is dying? If we look at from Bhagavad Gita, you can read that later, but just to give an idea, 2nd chapter 11 to 30, it gives who the soul is, who we are in our soul level. Don't go to the immigration or at the airport, what they call immigration check. What is your name? Krishna Das. Who are you? I'm a soul. It won't work. That's not how Prabhupada did it. You have to show your passport. You have to identify with the body. Yes, I'm American, I'm Indian, whatever it is. But constantly in our thought, we should always remember our constitutional level. It is very important. That's why Krishna says that never there was a time when I did not exist, not you, nor all these kings, nor in the future any shall of us cease to be. It's so wonderful. I mean, if you just scroll it down, if you just read 11 to 30 and just memorize those slokas or the translation, either one. I know one sannyasi, Ishkan sannyasi, he knows the entire Bhagavad Gita translation. I was like, wow. Amala Bhakta Swami, 9th chapter, he lives in Los Angeles. I was like, wow, how you remember every word Prabhupada says. It was like stunning. He said, hey, death will come. What do you want me to do? So I just chew those slokas. It's very tasty. Yes, they are tasty. When you see your position, how Krishna actually made you, how lovable person you are. You may not feel loved at this moment. That doesn't mean you're not lovable. You are 100% lovable. Every soul is 100% lovable. We may not experience in the conditioned life. That's how it is. So this is very nice. Next, this I want somebody to read it. This is beautiful. What is the eternal nature of soul?
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Jiva is atomic consciousness.
lot of background noise.
Is endowed with the quality of jnana knowledge, and it's described by the word aham, I. He is the enjoyer, the thinker, and the one who comprehends. Second, just as the different parts of the gross body, the hands, leg, nose, eyes, and so on combine to manifest a beautiful form when established in their respective places. Similarly, a very beautiful atomic spiritual body is manifest, which is composed of different spiritual parts. Third, when the jiva is entangled in Maya, that spiritual form is covered by the two material bodies. One of this is called the subtle body, Linga Shastra, Linga Sharira, and the other is called the gross body, Suthala Sharira. The subtle body, which is the first to cover the atomic spiritual body, is unavoidable from the beginning of the jiva's conditioned state until his liberation. When the jiva transmigrates from one body to the next, the gross body changes, but the subtle body does not. Rather, as the jiva leaves the gross body, the subtle body carries all its karma and desire to the next body. The first covering of the eternal spiritual form is the subtle body, and the second is the gross body.
Very good. Thank you, Mother.
Thank you.
I'm sure you saw this before. I made this just to demonstrate because we may have a misunderstanding. Krishna has an unlimited potency. We are one of the potency, living being or soul, jivas. So many words are there. Atma. Our existence is not just like another energy. We are not directly under Krishna. We are under Krishna's potency. That choice we have, material nature doesn't have that choice. Material nature cannot say, oh, I want to be under jiva or chit potency. No. Material nature is always will act under Rama Devi as a shadow potency, and she doesn't have any other choice. But we do. We have a choice to be under internal potency, chit shakti or antaranga shakti, or bahiranga shakti or external potency. This we should always remember. And I gave the reference where it is Prabhupada give more details on. Now, while you are traveling in this world, you are in the middle. You have a choice to go either side. Be aware what you're going to get. Not just, oh, have fun. No, be aware what is the fun will lead to. You may be stuck or you can be completely liberated. This is very detailed itself. I just, in a short. In case any one of you ever wondered, how much am I controlled? How much I have a controlling power? Well, these are the few points I found from our Acharya's book and Prabhupada's book, that actually you have eternally, as the soul has those components. Satchit Ananda, we say in a short way, Satchit Ananda. But we don't explain what is Sat means. You may say was existence, or not just existence. It creates your body. It creates your outlook. Everything. And chit potency, here some. Can someone help me with this? What do you have? It's not only Krishna has, we have this also, 11 things, or maybe more. Someone please read.
What is the difference between Ishvara and Jiva? Similarities between Krishna and Jiva. Number 1, Jnana Sarup, embodiment of knowledge. 2, Jnata Swarup, knower. Manta Swarup, one who considers or reflects. Number 4, Bhokta Sarup, the enjoyer. 5, Swaprakash, he is self-effulgent. 6, Paraprakash, he also illuminates others. 7, Icha Mayata, he has his own desires. 8, Ketranya, he is the knower of all. Excuse me. 9, Swarupata, both Jiva and Krishna have Chit Deha. 10, Prem Swabhav, inherent nature is pure love. 11, Srimad Bhagavatam 9:24-58, both the Lord and the living entity being qualitatively spirit soul have the tendency for peaceful enjoyment. But when the part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead unfortunately wants to enjoy independently without Krishna, he is put into the material world, where he begins his life as Brahma and is gradually degraded to the status of an ant or a worm in stool. This is called Manaha Sastani Driyani Prakriti Stani Karshati. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mata. That's very nice. So, is not that we are not controller. We are also controller. We know something, but we want to know more. God also has this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows everything, but yet he's asking question to Ramananda Rai. Krishna also knows everything, but he's also asking question to Bhishma Dev, to Arjuna. These 11 qualities eternally within us and Krishna is not any difference, but of course quantity is the difference. Oh, no, this question already asked, is Ajamil soul or Sushma or Sthula Sharira? Okay, someone please, can you read this please?
We talk frequently about death without actually talking about death. Personhood is innate to consciousness. It's not a stage of manifestation of consciousness. Thankfully, Gita wisdom stands forever, ready to counter spurious arguments that depersonalize consciousness. Hare Krishna.
This is so true, because I was talking to one Catholic priest. They don't talk because they don't have details about death. Our philosophy is so beautiful. Only regret I have just that time is running out and the philosophy is so vast. I wish I could live for a million years to learn and understand this. This is very tasty, not boring. Okay, another question, please.
Is subtle body being destructible or indestructible? When subtle body is destroyed? Two questions.
Would anybody like to answer?
Well, subtle body is not actually destructible, just that it gets transformed when it moves to the spiritual world. The false ego becomes the real eternal ego. So that's my basic understanding, Prabhuji.
It appears like it's indestructible, but actually subtle body is also destructible.
Yeah.
Only the soul is indestructible. So then question next came, when subtle body is destroyed? So let me ask this. Ajamil is here and the Jamadutas are here. Is Jamaduta's body is destructible? Yes, no?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
When it is destructible? Just like ours?
Yeah, just the time matters. Just the matter of time.
Okay, you brought another nice point. Is the time causing the subtle body destroyed or physical body destroyed or both?
I think both. But the desire.
Both? No.
No, gross body only, Prabhu. Sir. The subtle body doesn't go
Gross
in
body
time.
is destroyed by the time.
Yeah,
but time has no power. Time has no power to destroy the subtle body. subtle body, after whole annihilation, stays with the soul in the Shiva Lingam or goes to Garbhodakshay Vishnu, to Karandakshay Vishnu's body, until the next creation began, new breath of Mahavishnu. Okay, if time cannot destroy, then what destroy the subtle body?
When we get Suddha Sattva, when the total consciousness become 100% pure, there's no nothing called the mind become real ego, and the mind is purified mind and purified intelligence. Everything is Krishna's connected. 100%. The sur matches with Krishna's.
Sukhakar Prabhu, I like you. I don't know you, but I really like you, I love you. Wonderful answer. Yes.
They're blessings, Prabhu.
There are 4 types of annihilation in this material world. 4 types of death, you can say, or annihilation, either one. It's in 12th canto, Bhagavatam explains. One is Savabhik, then Prakritik, then Attantiki. So like for an example, every day things are taking birth and dying. Then end of Brahmaji's night, when he goes to sleep, there is another annihilation or death of unlimited things. Then when Brahmaji's life is over, 100 years, another death comes of the whole creation is finished. But the soul subtle body is not finished by time or anything. Now, time causes these planets, physical body destroyed, but the demigod's body is not destroyed by the time. It's very interesting. Now come back to this. Let me finish this. So what happened when, as Sukhakar Prabhu said, you become pure and your connection with the pure goodness, it depends on you when you want to become pure devotee. You can become pure devotee today or tomorrow or after 100 lives or maybe after 1,000,000 lives. When you become pure devotee, that time the subtle body is dissolved. It's depend on you, not on Krishna, not on Maya, not on anyone. It is a mercy and your endeavor, both together.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
There in 7.28, no, Prabhuji?
I'm sorry?
7.28 of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Let me just take it out, Prabhuji. 7.28. I think it also talks about three aspects of death. That is
Vedaham samatitani.
I don't know the Sanskrit word. It is when, who can do bhakti. I think one who can eradicate all sins, and one who is pious, and one who is free from all duality. So that way, when your bhakti increases, obviously your soul also gets cleansed. And that I thought is also one way when when the soul becomes as nirguna as the Super Lord. Hare Krishna.
Very good. In that verse, there is a very when Prabhupada was giving class, he was talking about that unless you have a piety or some spiritual credit from previous life, and this life also began with it, you cannot be strongly rigid or strong, determined devotee. So then one Western body, Prabhu said to Prabhupada in the class at the end, he said, my mother was eating beef when I was in her womb. And whole childhood I was eating beef. I didn't do any pious activity. But I feel very strong in spiritual life. I don't want to give up. I want to do it whole life. So according to that verse, I don't see, Prabhupada, how it is applicable. So Prabhupada was very merciful. He said, yes, I have created your piety. So that's exceptional, very exceptional, that Prabhupada actually over-empowered to actually empower each of us. We cannot, sometimes, even if you think, Manusyanam sahaseshu kastijatati siddhaya. I know that verse. Jasam tu antagata papam jananam punna karmana. Tedanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dhirabrata. So dhirabrata was the question, 728. That's right. That's why Prabhupada says, yes, I have created your Sukriti. Now don't give up. Don't fall back. Keep on going front. It was very nice. So you can all, I mean, many verses in Bhagavad Gita, you can say, Manusyanam sahaseshu kashi jatati siddhaya. So in the morning walk, Prabhupada talked about it. Okay, it takes thousands and thousands of lives to come to this mumukshu. Mumukshu means seeker for mukti. And out of thousands, maybe one is liberated. And out of thousands, they become one. How rare is Krishna Bhakta? Prabhupada said, that's true. But we always have a free will. Some or other, Prabhupada just hammered that point. He said, you have a choice. And Harishwari Prabhu remembers how the devotee grabbed two homeless in Australia. It's a very vivid example. And they both are, what do you call, schizophrenic? I don't know the word. They're like really crazy, homeless, whatever. So they bathed both of them, dressed them well, fed them, give them a room to sleep, and told them, you don't have to go outside and look for any shelter. You can live here, eat, just be with us. After 35 years, Harishwari Prabhu went back to that temple and he saw somebody's washing pot and he's paid obeisances to Harishwari Prabhu. He said, Prabhu, I remember you. You came from a homeless status. He said, yes. He said, you are so happy. He said, I am so happy from the next day. And I'm still happy. He said, but why are you doing pot washing? It's for a new bhakta. He said, I love pot washing. Every service is wonderful. But the other homeless, after 5 days, he went back. He said, I don't want this. I like this on the street. And Prabhupada made a very heavy comment. This is called choice. Krishna will not decide for any one of us. I hope you all know this. Write it down boldly. Krishna will not decide our choice. It is each of us. You read 1863, if you have the Bhagavad Gita in front of you. Idam te gyanam. What is that? Jata ichchasi tata kuru. The first line is iti te gyanam aikhatam. That's right. Iti te gyanam aikhatam. Guya guya taram maya. That I'm giving you everything, Arjuna. I gave you all transcendental knowledge. You decide what you want to do. This is a one point I hope none of you ever face with another group of some mistake understanding. They said the soul, we don't have a choice. We don't have free will. It's a mistake. And Prabhupada is the one Acharya I see, he pounds this point. He said, yes, Manusyanam sahaseshu, that's true. That is Krishna's mercy. But Mahaprabhu's mercy is you can become now. You don't have to go through 2 life or 100 life or 1,000 life. You can become in 1 life pure devotee. It's up to you. It's wonderful. So thank you, Mata. That was a very nice point you made. Okay, one more question. Please, someone. Or maybe I should ask that question before you read. Is the soul contaminated? Is the soul body contaminated, or the subtle body contaminated, or the physical body contaminated? Which one is contaminated with the 3 modes? Someone please help me.
The subtle body.
The body and the subtle body.
The soul is never contaminated.
Yeah.
Very good answer. Whoever gave you, Mother, your perfect understanding. Hold on to it tight and share with others. This is nice. Soul is always pure. Soul is lovable. Soul is complete. But completeness are not the way we think in this world what completeness means. Just like when we say Krishna is Atmaram, Aptakam, self-satisfied. Are Baba, self-satisfied doesn't mean he's inactive. We think self-satisfied means he doesn't do anything. That's not true. Self-satisfied means he doesn't need from anyone, but he will do as he likes. So we have some connotation. So when you say complete, the soul is complete, but there are different kind of completeness. There's a difference between Krishna's completeness and our completeness. Krishna is independently complete, but we are dependently complete. What is dependently complete? Prabhupada gave that example. I mentioned this, I think, once class before also here, that Prabhupada says that our hand is perfectly equipped for functional. We can grab things, we can write things, we can give a hug, we can pat someone. So many functions we do with the hand. But if the hand is cut off from the body, his functionality, the hand's functionality and utility of the hand is not there. Because it depends on its completeness with the body. Similarly, although we are complete, we are not independently complete. We must hammer this in our consciousness eternally. I mean, at least until liberation or entering into the domain of spiritual world. Our completeness is dependent completeness. Since we are dependent on Krishna to be complete, when we imagine that we can be complete with something else other than Krishna, then such thought is an root of anarthas or impurities. The essence of impurity is to think that there can be substitute of Krishna to Krishna. Hey, Prabhu, I can live without God. I can live without Krishna. Yeah, where do you get this idea? From there. It's a deadly danger. We think we can find love with the girl or boy or satisfaction or fulfillment through anything other than Krishna. There are some people think. I also had a doubt in the beginning. Purification simply means we redirect our love, consciousness towards Krishna. So when we redirect our love towards Krishna, we become connected with Krishna. And thus in our dependence to him, we realize our completeness. So I hope everybody got it. Now I'm also looking at the time. I'm going to jump. Oh, well, I cannot do all. I'm going to just go to jump. Okay, can somebody read this? It's beautiful also. I wrote this morning.
What is the difference between the eternal spiritual body and the subtle body? The eternal body is the actual, original body, and it is atomic, spiritual, and faultless. This is the real object of the ego, the real I. The subtle body arises from contact with matter, and it consists of three vitiated transformations, namely of the mind, intelligence, and ego.
Thank you. There is a difference eternally, subtle body, because it's so subtle, it's almost like difficult to distinguish, but we should remember this. Okay, then there was okay, I'm going to go. In case if you wonder who are the Jamadutas, I don't know anyone of you ever heard how Jamaraj recruits Jamadutas. Like if you ever find somebody don't have interest, I read this in Gorura Purana, that if you ever find somebody is not interested to do anything good, they just live a life, a human being, live a life like a worse than animal. Even animal shows some affection or something, you'll see the mother to the cubs. But there are some people in this world, they're like so isolated with the internet and their life, that's it, nothing else. Well, Unfortunately, Jamaraj is looking at those people. They will be shifted and get trained. They will understand the religion, but they don't become a devotee unless they consciously accept Jamaraj's other side. Jamaraj is also a pure devotee. So it is a choice over there is given. Otherwise, they struggle till the whole creation is over. Okay, death means what? I'm looking at the time. How far can I go? Okay. Maybe somebody can read this. In other words, I'm just going to summarize. When you leave this world, this is not applicable to the devotees. When you are not a devotee, at death, 5 things goes with you. And this is for sure. And you can determine where their destiny is. Now, please, even if you learn this, don't be judgmental. This is my request. Don't tell them, oh no, that soul just went to hell. Don't say that, because it will hurt the other people. But we can actually see it. These are the some. I'm just going to jump to, how do I go to this? Let's see. Why death is fearful? Can somebody read it? You can relate to this. Why Ajamil was fearful? Go ahead.
Fear of unknown non-existence, losing memory, losing enjoyment awareness, fear of losing loved one, my family, relatives, friends, society, fear of eternal punishment, damnation, equal to Christian says, fear of seeing fearful personalities, Yamaduta.
Very good. I mean, you can add the list more. This is just few thought I had, and I just added here. And it's a fact. I investigate with the different culture, religion also in Florida, just to see if we are right. And our scripture actually answered this. So I'm going to jump to the preparation. Or maybe I went there. Yeah, preparation of death. This is a preparation. Can someone please read? Is it visible or is it too small?
Hare Krishna, life before death. Life exists not because of a functioning body, but despite being in an inherently dead body. Life after death is a popular philosophical topic with varying opinions about its possibility. The Bhagavad Gita is clear about it. Life is eternal, unimpeded by death. Dehuna sminyata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantarasprabhir dhera satranamuyati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Before we discuss this further, it helps to ponder about life before death. Not only is this a more immediately relevant concern, but in fact, this analysis forms the basis of any discussion on the afterlife. The before holds the key to the after. Life is non-material, life in our dead body, life after death, life without death. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mata. Because literally I was meditating on this 4 subject matter, and it can go on whole day. It's so beautiful where our focus is. And if you meditate on it, because of the time being, we can't discuss so much because I have a few other materials. And I found some quotes of Prabhupada, how the transmigration takes place from Prabhupada's book, Nectar of Instruction and Journey of Discovery. This is all Prabhupada's own word. How beautiful explanation he gives about the transmigration. This is about Bhagavatam. The question began with Prahladananda Prabhu. Would you like to read the sloka? Because I know you have a.
Haribol Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Tatascha vaha pruchayam imam vipruche Vishrabhya Vipra ite Krutyayam Sarvatmana Mryamanasya Krutyam Suddham Cha Tatra Mrusha Abhyuktaha. Translation. O trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after a proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.19.24. SPIUP 17. King Parikshit inquired from Sukdev because Sukdev was a greater spiritual master than any great yogi or transcendentalist of his time. Maharaj Parikshit's main question was, what is the duty of every man, specifically at the time of death? Sukdev Goswami answered, Tasmad Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Isvaro Hari Srotavyah Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichchata Abhayam. O descendant of King Bharat, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries.
Very nice. Thank you. Now, something you can do right now to be in the spiritual world at the moment of death, and you can continue this. This is not something big, sophisticated way to detect. You can do simple thing like any service, if you are attached, pleasing Guru, Prabhupada and Krishna, just do that service. You are as good as entering into domain of spiritual world. It's so nice. I love those purport that Prabhupada put. Okay, art of living is to master art of dying. This is a 3 deaths you have that Daksha Maharaj was proposing why Narad Muni is wrong, but actually it's not true. He's not true. Narad Muni knew the higher science than Daksha. Okay, someone please read this one. This is very nice.
Why does the Bhagavad Gita discuss the moment of death so much? Bhagavad Gita 8 and 6. Because our consciousness at the moment of death determines our post-mortem destination, Krishna discusses that moment to help us prepare for that final moment.
Thank you. That's very nice. So let's see if we can see some example. Saint Francisco Sisi. I'm sure you all heard. Prabhupada talks wonderful things about him in Australia also. And some or other, it seems like he is such a good Vaishnava. Radhanath Maharaj goes to Italy. He's going again in short time. And there is a big, we have a big temple in Italy. Also, there is a big Saint Francisco Sisi followers. They are not directly under the Pope or anyway. So when Saint Francisco Sisi was on the dying bed, he was about to leave this world. Some envious people, atheists, they were remarking, hey, you are Saint Francisco. You did so many miracles to heal people. But look at you. You cannot even heal yourself. You're dying. He gave so good answer. It just reminded me of Prabhupada. He said, well, they challenged, what kind of saint are you? He said, listen, my friend, I never healed anybody. Nobody can do anything, but it is only God who allowed me to heal others. God was using me to help others. Now he wants me to come back. I'm living in peace.
Hare Krishna, would you please mute so that we can hear Prabhuji's class?
Some sound is coming. Sorry, Mata.
Thank you.
And when Saint Francisco says this, he said, now Lord wants me to come back and I'm going back. I never healed. He healed through me. You all should become like that. So wonderful. That's exactly what Prabhupada said. Somebody please read this. This is from Prabhupada.
Difference in a devotee's and non-devotee's death. One may ask, the devotees die and the non-devotees also die. What is the difference? It is like this. The mother cat may catch a rat and carry it in her mouth, and she also carries her kittens in her mouth. It is the same mouth, but the kittens are comfortable and safe, whereas the rat is feeling the jaws of death. Similarly, at the time of death, the devotees are transferred to the spiritual realm, Vaikuntha, whereas the ordinary simple man is dragged down to the hellish regions by the Yamadutas, the constables of Yamaraja. Srila Prabhupada, A Second Chance, the story of a near-death experience. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. This is beautiful. This thing we should remember. Okay, this is a blessing. Prabhupada gives this whole story to 4 types of people. Guru Nanak has a wonderful story also about that. Now I'm going to go, because of the time, I'm going to say, okay, maybe. Can someone sing this? This is a beautiful song. I sing this sometime, but I'm not a singer. Can someone sing this? Just
Can
quickly?
I sing, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Krishna Tvadeya Pad Pankaja Panjarantam Advaime Visatu Manas Rajahansa Pran Prasamaye Kafvat Pittaihi Kantavarodhana Vidhau Smaranam Kutaste. My dear Lord Krishna, I pray that the swan of my mind may immediately sink down to the stems of the lotus feet of your Lordship and be locked in their network. Otherwise, at the time of my final breath, when my throat is choked up with cough, how will it be possible to think of you? There is an intimate relationship between the swan and the lotus stem. So the comparison is very appropriate. Without becoming a swan or Paramhams, one cannot enter into the network of the lotus feet of the Lord. These may seem contrary to our Western materialistic culture, which is so preoccupied with pampering and preserving the body, with staying in the body as long as possible, squeezing out of it the last possible drop of pleasure. This prayer, in opposition to that mad pursuit, offers a more philosophical perspective. In it, the devotee prays to the Lord, my dear Krishna, please let me die immediately so that the swan of my mind may be encircled by the stem of your lotus feet. Otherwise, at the time of my final
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari.
Can someone read this one? This is very nice. This I got from the online.
Varapura. Yadi vatadi doshena mad bhakto mam nacha smare aham smarami mad bhaktaha nayami param gatim. If my devotee is unable to remember me at the time of death because of the disturbances felt within the body at that time, then I shall remember my devotee and take him back to my spiritual abode. Varapura. Haribol.
Very nice. Okay. Sorry. Okay, these are the things I learned because I had a recently talk with Sripad Radhanath Maharaj, my spiritual teacher, master. And he was like, he said, Pran Govind Prabhu, Peter Brush is a famous champion, tennis champion, who just passed away. He was a very close friend of me, Maharaj said, and another disciple just passed away, and 3 more, they are in a very critical condition. So I was a little bit overwhelmed before you called me. I said, Maharaj, thank you for helping. And Maharaj, I was talking that what is the actually process that you do? And Maharaj is so kind, so merciful. He gives something we should remember always. Now, this is my old handwriting. I don't know. Maybe let me go to the last one. Okay, here. Can someone, okay, this is my request. If you know somebody is about to pass from this world, or you yourself may be ready, make sure you read through this, at least some idea. In our Alachwara community, we have a end-of-life care team. There's a group of Prabhupada's disciples and the second generation also got together and they created. And I see this, how we are running this in Alachua. It's very successful. Right? As I am speaking with you, 3 of Prabhupada's disciples are in the, in their last stage. Sukriti Prabhu, Mahabuddhi Prabhu. So they, they are like about maybe 20 miles from the temple. They are in a place where they prepare, and devotee goes there also. They talk about it. So I would like somebody to read this loudly so everybody can hear it.
Read Krishna book, especially the descriptions of Vrindavana, Bhagavad Gita, especially chapter 8, 9, and 12. Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, if the person would like. But this is probably not the best time for heavy philosophy. Be emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually supportive. Arrange for all persons the patient wants to see or talk with, even if that means on the phone if they cannot come in person. Ask if they have any final wishes and try to take care of them. Encourage the patient and others to ask for forgiveness and forgive. Give them permission to leave. Give them assurance that X, Y, Z will be taken care of. Family members will be taken care of. Tell them you love them. They are loved by the devotees, family, spiritual master, and wonderful Krishna. Keep the atmosphere serene. Take conversations between other persons, including phone calls, outside the patient's room. Keep the lighting soft. Remember, the patient can hear you even if they are comatose. Therefore, be careful what you say in their presence. Do not leave the patient alone at any time. Keep vigil. That is, someone should be with the patient at all times. The patient should not die alone if at all possible. Fantastic, Prabhuji. This
One,
you should
Prabhu,
give
two more.
Oh.
Someone, some mothers also can share.
Mahamantra card or poster can be there.
No, from the
okay,
top.
From here. Deity Maha Cross can be placed on
No,
patient.
mother, say it like this. Have the following items in hand.
Oh, okay. Have the following items on hand. A. Deity cloth can be placed on patient before and after death, can be cremated with it. B. Vrindavan dust can be sprinkled on patient before and after death. After death, place amount in the mouth of if possible, otherwise sprinkle over the body. C. Holy water, Yamuna or Ganges, etc. can be sprinkled or drops can taken by mouth before death. After death, place a few drops in the mouth if possible, otherwise sprinkle on the body. D. Tilak, best if they always present on the 12 parts of the body. C. E. Neck beads, best if always worn around the neck, otherwise the wrist or placed near body or somewhere, or head. F. Tulsi Maha from deities can have before death. After death, place a leaf in the mouth if possible, otherwise on head. Nrsimhadev garland placed on patient before and after death can be cremated with the garland. If Nrsimhadev oil is available, use it as well. H. Music box. Srila Prabhupada, spiritual master, other preference, chanting, singing, can, last word I cannot see, for much. Patients should always have some transcendental sound vibration at all times. 3, all day. Once a day something. Whether there is someone reading, doing bhajans, chanting, or the electronic playing. Maha Mantra card or poster can be there. Hare Krishna.
Okay, very good. One more, someone, please.
11. The priest or anyone there can say some prayers or chant Hare Krishna at the time of death. Bathe and dress the body soon after death. After the initial visitation by the family devotees, because rigor mortis start to set in beginning after 2 hours after death. It becomes difficult to bathe and dress the body in that state. The devotees can come back in and hold kirtan as you see fit. If the body is being transferred to the funeral home, they can bathe and dress if that is your preference, or they can bathe and you can dress. This usually happens after 48 hours or so. By that time, the rigor mortis usually subsides. Fresh new clothing is used. Tilak, like beads, deity, maha cloth attached with a pin are placed on the body. Nrsimha Deva garland is, if available, deity maha garlands, maha tulasi, holy dust and water sprinkle. Harinam chadar or scarf placed on body. Nice kirtan. Offered incense can be burnt. Priest can say prayers. The priest also says prayers at the time of cremation. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Because Prabhus and mothers, I was at the last minute of Srimad Bhakti Charu Maharaj's departure from this world. And I had a lot of experience and I learned a lot from that also. Because in the hospital, they take off your neck beads because of their, whatever the reason they want to use your body for reviving. But you have to be very alert. But Prabhupada, Bhakti Charu Maharaj had a full-fledged Prabhupada music, neck beads, everything. I was very heavy on that and it worked out wonderful. Not that he needs it only, because he's already advanced pure devotee, but still. But above all this, my last question, and then I end. What is the most important at that moment to think of Krishna? What can block? This is very crucial. Prabhus and mothers, we are all going to go in that route. Remember, one thing can block if you to think of Krishna or think of Vrindavan or anything. One thing can block. Can you help me?
Is it attachment for our family? Is that the obstruction there? Prabhuji?
More. I want to hear more. There is a very
physical inabilities to chant Krishna's name. Or could be that shortage in our practice of not having thought of Krishna always in our sadhana, if our practice was not really that up to the mark throughout the life. Hence, we need to always think of Krishna, not forget him even a moment, so that those thoughts linger around even at the time of death. One might not be able to kind of chant loudly because of physical inabilities, but at least the thoughts of Krishna will linger around in the thoughts and mind. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Little more. Very good. Thank you, Mother. That was very nice.
Hare Krishna, if we're experiencing physical suffering that we're overcome by, that could stop us from remembering Krishna.
That's also true. Very good. Something more. Prabhus and mothers, we are going to face it. Come on, let's face it now, today. So we don't have to wait at the moment.
Prabhu,
Is
can I
it
take one
those
point?
surface impressions, Prabhu? Like most of us kind of, the last moment kind of impressions that one retains in the mind that might block our whatever the thoughts of Krishna?
You are very thoughtful, mother. You are almost hitting it. Yes, Sukakar Prabhu, you wanted to say something.
What I'm telling is, we are learning theoretically that we are going to, those who are devotees will go to Krishna, will come and take us, and the non-devotees, Yamadutta will come and take us. So we should be positively think Krishna is going to take me. So I'm not worried. I'm going to him only. Just be in that positive feeling.
Think, Prabhu, you are right. But to think that Krishna will take care of us, it will be blocked. You cannot even think that. There is some clue.
Our anarthas.
Yes.
Our anarthas will block us.
The false ego.
You gave a big panorama, like vast anarthas. Be specific, something you can do at that moment.
Desire.
Of course, desire is also vast. You're not wrong, you're right, but it's like a vast, very specific.
Suddenly went into a coma.
Suddenly went to coma?
Yes, Prabhu.
Coma doesn't mean that you are not alive. You are alive, but you're not communicating with the physical world.
Prabhu, one should always think that death is unpredictable. It can happen any moment of time. You should always have that in the back of mind, so that you don't even miss that. Every moment you think of, anytime anything can happen. So continue to be in Krishna consciousness. Think of Krishna.
You are right, mother, but something can block at the moment of death. It's all because we all are alive. Mother Binita Gandharvika Devi Dasi, she's trying to say something.
Pain of the death, Prabhu, that time the pain is so high. So that moment we don't know. The pain will trouble us, and we don't know if we can remember Krishna. The pain is so high.
It's true, but even if no pain, even if you have a pain, something can block.
Fear of death.
That is also true, but not 100%. One thing, something you have to do.
Is it the false ego, Prabhuji? Is it the false ego that we are still not able to understand we are soul? We are still thinking we are body.
Attachment.
Yes and no, but I want more specific, something you can grab it. Prabhu, if the false ego was an apple on the shelf, I'll take the apple and throw it. Okay, I don't have any more false ego. But it's not like that. More specific, something we can do. And Prabhupada did. Now I disclose this. Prabhupada did this as a great example. But what is it?
Is it requesting your fellow people around you to chant Lord Krishna's name?
Little more. You are almost like mother. You are very, I know you covering almost everything.
Training the mind.
Show the photo of Krishna. Show the photo or Guru Maharaj or something, Prabhupada photo. Somebody can bring it.
Those are also true. That will help. But something you can block. You can have eyes closed. Dying person doesn't have to have eyes open. He can be in coma also, as Rajiv Prabhu says. But something, if you release that, what Prabhupada did, then you are free to think of Krishna as a devotee. Okay, no more try. I have only 3 minutes to finish.
Forgiveness.
Yes. This is what Prabhupada did. He called all his god brother and sister. And Prabhupada said very remarkable. To all our family members, to all our friends, we must forgive and beg forgiveness from them. This is so powerful. If we cannot appreciate, if we cannot express love and feel love, we will block our consciousness. You know, last maybe 10 days or maybe 9 days before, one devotee told me, so he had a very, in the middle of the night, 2 persons just enter in his house. And one guy grabbed his neck in dark and showing his knife. And the other person is doing something, he's searching something in the house. At one point, after 10-15 minutes, he said, let's go, let's get out. So they jumped through the window. I mean, they could go out of the door. So then I investigated. I said, when did you think of Krishna? He said, as they are about to leave. I said, oh, Krishna, help. He said, but how come 15 minutes before incident happened, you didn't think of Krishna? He said, Prabhu, I don't know. I was just trying to get out of this. What can I do to get out of this guy's danger? He could not bring, it was not an issue. He was not even concerned that he has to think of Krishna. We can think right now because we are not in that situation. This is a second thing happened in Alachua. When real emergency comes, death is the most deadly emergency. Prabhus and mothers never maintain any ill behavior with any devotees or any family member. Do your best, forgive them and ask for forgiveness before it is too late.
I'll start it doing from today, Prabhuji. I'll just go and beg pardon. Very well. Thank you for this.
Thank you. I end here. Sorry for taking such a big...
Prabhu, all your notes are really invaluable, Prabhuji. You are really helping us to go back home, back to Godhead. So we will do the channel. Please send all your notes, Prabhu, to the Gandharva Mataji so that we all can definitely embark on those points, Prabhuji. We are really thankful to your lotus feet. You are really helping all of us, Prabhuji. Really.
Prabhu, please pray for me so I can go along with you.
No, Prabhuji, please. These notes are very invaluable. This forgiveness is a very important point. That didn't come in the mind at all.
I know. I mean, if Prabhupada did not do Prabhu, I would not even think. And Prabhupada spoke about it. He said, this is very important before you leave this world.
Prabhu,
because I was
not
very happy with my god brother. He said that. I was very happy. So I asked forgiveness. This is a first class.
Prabhu, what about our classmates and friends? Many people, there may be a lot of things. How we'll bring them all? We can only think in the mind, no? Our classmates, our friends, our office colleagues, they are not in touch. So we are even beg for them also from the mind that please, whatever I had done, please, how do we get out of all the people?
That will be great, Prabhu. They will become devotee, believe me. In the Karmi world, the people are not humble. Devotees are the only one. I tell you one little small story. I know I'm going out of time. Mother Radha, please forgive me.
Yeah.
There is a Sadadana Maharaj. Well, Sadadana Prabhu, he fell down, but he's still in Mayapur. Prabhupada called him. Prabhupada says to him, he's still there, you can ask him, he'll tell you the story. Prabhupada called him, he says, I know you visit my previous house and children and my ex-wife, so you visit them once in a while, that's nice. Take this Japamala, give it to her. For his wife, he says, tell her it is important that she chants and should not hold any grudge against anyone and chant, and she should go back home, back to Godhead. I mean, if Prabhupada as a sannyasi could go out of his way for his previous wife, we all can do that for anybody in our life. How much compassionate Prabhupada was. So it's a wonderful. Thank you, Shukakar Prabhu.
Okay. That you love all and be loved by all. That also we have to tell?
Yes, yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
We cannot force, but at least we can express our love. We cannot force them to love me, but I can express my love for them. By the way, I love all of you. I do.
Thank you very much. We love you so much, Prabhuji. We love you so much.
We also love you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love you, Prabhu.
You are funny, Sugar Prabhu. Okay, so we close now. I went over 9. Is that okay?
Lastly, before you go, I would like to know about that center you were talking about in Alaushwa, about, end of life center. What is it called?
It's online. I can send Mother Shamagori. She can put it there. If you have a time, you can read the website, and it tells how many Prabhupada's disciples left and what we did. And we want to make everybody's life easy journey to live.
Right.
Come on, we are a big family. We belong to each other. We must do this last
art of
biggest
living.
favor.
Art of living. You think art of living.
Yes.
It's good to know that, because in San Diego, I understand there is a what do you call the last one, when people at terminal stage, they stay there, but it's not spiritual. That's what I understand. So such a facility is good for us to live body, when everything is conducive to Krishna consciousness like that. So it's good to have this knowledge. I'm almost 70 now. I don't know when I'll leave, but I want to, get such information so that, I could end up there. That will be good, Thank you very much. Haribol.
We'll meet you all in Golok Vrindavan.
Haribol.
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 It goes for me too. I'm almost 80.
Jai Haribol Mataji, 100 years, century.
Please forgive me if I have forgive me for all the offenses that I have done. Please forgive me.
Please forgive me too.
All of you.
Can you see, we elevate ourselves. We elevate. We are preparing. Golok Vrindavan, living this world is a wonderful journey. It's the biggest success when you live this world. Why? Because our real spiritual association with Krishna begins at the death. It's so nice.
That Vara Puran slok, which was quoted about how Lord Krishna loves us, if we have remembered him throughout life, I don't care whether I remember him at not one, but he will remember me, because I have tried to serve Prabhupada Maharaj like that, that's an assurance to us so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful class and very nice interactive section. Everyone love you so much, Prabhuji, and beautiful presentation. It's nice to hear from all the devotees. I would like to
come more, give us more and more.
Please, we want to. We want to. We want to always.
Prabhu, we have a 3-chapter Ajamil, so we'll have more on this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpa tarubhasya
Kripa sindhu bhaicha pattana pavane vaishnava namo namaha.
I love all the Bhakti Japa Sangha group members and here are listeners. Gaur Premanand.
Hari Bol.
Bhagavatam
Gaur.
ki
Jai. Bhakta Sangha group ki jai.
Pran Govind Prabhuji